So a lot of men are struggling with being social, like being a likable person. People are like, man, why don't people like me? Why are people avoiding me? Why can't I make friends? And you have to understand like the nature of humans. Once you understand human nature, it's very hard for you not to make friends. See, I've gotten to a point where I can make friends anywhere. I can go anywhere and people will enjoy speaking to me. People will gravitate towards me. And I've had to reverse engineer why this happens because it was natural for me, but it may not be natural for you. And you're looking for a way to be able to do these things. And luckily you have someone like me who can dissect these things for you and give you an actual framework on how to accomplish these goals. So in order to be a likable person, you need to be relatable. It's the same with what I'm doing right now with you. I'm being relatable. I'm speaking to you at an eye level. I'm speaking to you in a way that you understand. And I may be communicating the thoughts that you already have and fleshing them out on camera right now, right? Through this computer screen or phone screen that you're watching this video. So you need to be extremely relatable. And one thing that you need to do, and I know the biggest thing is you have to be able to consume a lot of information, learn many different things, read a lot of books, be exposed to different cultural things, right? Be multicultural, be somebody who understands different things, because that's going to make you relatable with all kinds of people. Now, if you want to just be relatable with a certain group of people, like for example, if I want to be relatable with men, it's very easy because I am a man. If I was a woman trying to be relatable with men, I would learn all of the things that make men tick. You have to start doing that. Understand different things because you never know who you're going to speak to. Maybe it's horseback racing. Maybe you go learn the intricacies of that for a little bit. Make it just a project for you to learn about that, because you never know, the person you may be speaking to that you want to be in contact with loves horseback riding. Or even if they don't, if they ask you about yourself and what you've been looking into, that is a great speaking point. It makes you relatable to a certain extent. So one is relatability, right? The next is you need to shut your brain off when you're talking, or when you're listening, when you're listening to the other person. When you get into a one-on-one conversation with somebody else, shut your brain off. See, when I speak through this camera, through this screen that you're looking at right now, my brain is completely off. I'm speaking from the subconscious level because I've internalized a lot of these things. I've had experiences with everything that I'm telling you in the camera. That's why it's easy for me to communicate, because I've shut my brain off. I'm not thinking too hard. See, humans, most can't multitask. They can't be thinking about different thoughts and simultaneously speaking at the same time. See, when I do that, I tend to trip up on my words. I become less articulate because my brain's on and I'm thinking about so many other things, especially if you have ADHD. It's crazy. But once you turn the brain off and you trust your subconscious mind, you'll be able to communicate significantly better, and the person will actually understand what you're saying. And again, that relates back to relatability. Because you've already looked into all of these different things, you have these different interests and skills and hobbies, you can pull from so many different experiences subconsciously to where you turn the brain off and you have a ton of information to give. And it improves your listening skills. So if you turn your brain off and you're not speaking, you're going to be absorbing all of the information that the person gives you. So when you absorb all of the information the person gives you, you become very well engaged. See, people innately can feel energy. They can feel the energy of somebody who does not care about what they have to say, because one, your eyes are going to be looking around because you're either thinking too much, you're thinking of other things and you're not focused on the person, you're not present, or you simply don't care, which means you may, kind of like slouch down or look away or look down. There are certain subconscious cues that most people will be able to understand if they're not socially remedial. They'll be able to see that you're not interested in the conversation. And so they will not want to like you, or they won't like you. They won't see you as somebody that they're interested in as a friend or whatever. Even in dating, like, you have to be attentive. You have to understand, people enjoy talking about themselves. That's what it is. So it takes me to my third point. You have to ask people questions about themselves. Become a naturally curious person. You have to be naturally curious. This all goes back to relatability as well, because by actually wanting to learn many different things, that means you're curious. That means you want to understand things. But this point, I mean, be curious about the person. because everyone loves talking about themselves. The rich guy or girl or woman, rich man or rich woman enjoys talking about themselves. The poor guy, the poor woman, they enjoy talking about themselves and their problems, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody that you know enjoy the beautiful woman that you want to talk to. She's fine. She's gorgeous. She loves talking about herself. Everyone is innately narcissistic. As much as y'all don't want to believe it, like everyone is innately narcissistic. So it makes sense to feed into that narcissism to get the favor of that person. Right? You may be saying, "Oh, I don't care if people like me or not." Yes, you do. And you should care, because people who like you will pay you. If you have a business, that people buy from people that they like, that they can relate to. So it is important for business. People trust people that they like. So if you want to gain the trust of people, which I'm sure you'll have to do at a certain point, you need to be likable. So yes, it does matter. And you need to understand these intricacies of people. So because people are narcissistic, back to the point, you have to feed into their desire to make themselves seem like a certain person or talk themselves up. You have or just talk about what they like. Be super interested in what they like. Ask questions of their hobbies. Like, for example, "Hey, where are you from?" Right? If you're asking that, it's like, "Oh, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee." Nashville? I've never been to Nashville, but I've heard a lot about it. Like, what did you like about Nashville the most? "Oh, I really liked the live music that they had." "Oh, live music. Well, what got you into live music? Why live music?" See how like I'm peeling back layers? It's just all about peeling back layers. Asking questions, curious, because I actually want to know why he likes Nashville or she likes Nashville. What's so good about it? Why do you like live music? Like what interested you about live music? And then we might get into like a deeper psychological topic. And that's how you get deep with people. So the next point is try to get as deep as possible with the person, because that all revolves back to relatability, right? As you get deeper with the person into their psyche, into specific topics that are deeper than the surface, because most people, they start with surface level conversations and they end with surface level conversations. I like to take things very deep. I like to go into childhood traumas that you had. I like to go into like past relationships that didn't work and why they didn't work. I like to go into the hardest point of your life and how did you overcome that? Like, these are deep topics that so many people refuse to get into because they're afraid of what the other person might say by asking those questions. See, I ask those questions anyway because nobody asks those questions. So people immediately like me. They feel a connection to me. This is how I've been able to get investments for any business that I had, for the tech company that I had. This is how I've been able to build relationships with people. This is how I'm able to talk to women and be able to relate with women to the point where they're like, "Man, I love this dude. Like, why can I open up to you so much?" Like, I always get this. How do I open up to you so much? We've just met. Well, because I'm relatable. I care about you by asking you questions. I'm curious about you. I want to know more about you. I'm going to ask the questions that most people are not willing to ask because they're so self-absorbed with who they are. See, like, that's how you do it. This is a social masterclass right now. I didn't even know I was really doing this, but I'm just explaining to you how I've been able to develop the close and tight relationships that I have. Yes, there's some level of you need to start talking about yourself, of course. But if you can make it that 80% of the conversation. So my camera just died, but we back. If you can make it so that 80% of the conversation is literally around the person, you will win all day long. You will literally have people who love you, people who want to talk to you all the time. You'll be remembered by so many people. People will have good things to say about you, and your social capital will increase tremendously. So become that likable person. Take these tips, internalize them, and actually start using them in your day-to-day life. So like, comment, subscribe, share with somebody else who might need this, who is socially awkward or socially remedial. This will help them significantly. It's helped me a lot. Believe it or not, I was never a social person. I was actually a closed off person. I was an introvert for a long time. I was an only child, so I wasn't used to being around people all the time. I didn't have that extrovertedness. I had to build it. I had to learn it, and now it's natural to me. I'm actually more of I'm an introvert, extroverted introvert. There we go. I'm an extroverted introvert. So like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend again. Sign up to the free email newsletter. We talk about this in depth. 1% better emails into your inbox. One-on-one coaching, obviously, for the summer. Yeah, you want to be socially solid, right? Socially jacked. You want to be physically jacked, which will also help you, your appearance, all of that, having a high status body to evoke that level of emotion when people see you. Sign up below, one-on-one coaching. See if you fit. I want to be able to have communication with you just to see if it makes sense to work with you. I can only work with a few people at a time, but the people I do work with, I tend to help generate a lot of results. So if that's something that you're looking for, if you're looking to get in the best shape of your life for the summer, when you get into these social interactions, again, link is in the description. I will catch you on the next video. I appreciate you and have a good rest of your day.